Hey, it's Deborah, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and today I would like to share with you this card. There's no one like you. It features the Snow Place and Snow Friends bundle that saves you 15%. The Have a Beautiful Birthday is a sentiment from Birthday Blossoms, and on the back of the card, From My Heart to Yours from Better Than Email stamp set. Has a coordinating envelope with some snowflakes on the back flap and a cute penguin, Time to Chill, on the front. So let's go ahead and create with compassion. So we're going to start with basic black cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and we're going to score that at 5.5 inches using our Stampin' Up! Trimmer. The light gray scoring tool scores, the dark gray cuts. Then we're going to take some Whisper White craft ink. I have a Stampin' Spot that I got from Paper Pumpkin. Love Paper Pumpkin. And we're going to stamp From My Heart to Yours from Better Than Email onto the left side of that cardstock. That's going to be the back of our card. So we're going to use some basic black archival ink and stamp the penguin from Snow Place stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set onto a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to stamp that kind of on the right side near the middle. I'm going to use my dies to cut him out, but this is going to be one of my layering pieces. Next, we're going to go ahead and stamp that penguin on the bottom left of the envelope, and only about half or less of the penguin is going to show. I'm using my grid paper. It gives great support and cushion for photopolymer stamp sets, so I get awesome images every time. It also keeps my work area clean when I stamp off of the paper. Now this is another 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to stamp that little penguin down in the left-hand corner. This is for the inside of my card. And using Real Red ink, let's stamp 3 bows from Snow Place stamp set onto that first piece of Whisper White to the left of the penguin. We're going to use our dies to cut these out and make this penguin a young lady. Using Real Red ink, let's stamp Have a Beautiful Birthday from Birthday Blossoms on the inside panel. The penguin is in the bottom left, and so let's stamp this in the bottom right. You can eyeball it or use the Stamp-O-Majig. With the Real Red ink and Time to Chill from Snow Place stamp set, we're going to ink up To Chill and stamp that on the bottom of the envelope near the penguin. Clean your stamp very well and then ink up only Time and stamp that above To Chill. That gives a little color to the envelope. Using a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of Whisper White cardstock and my grid paper, I'm going to find the center of this piece of paper using that dark line. I've got 10 little boxes on each side of that line, and I'm going to take the snowman stamp from Snow Place stamp set and stamp him just to the right of the center of my paper using that dark line as a guide. And I'm going to stamp another one next to him, and then we will stamp 2 more snowmen on the left side of that paper so that we have a line of snowmen going across the bottom, but they're nice and evenly spaced and centered and will look like a little line of snowmen. Using basic black ink and the stamp There's No Place Like Home from Snow Place stamp set, I'm going to ink up just the words There's Snow and Like. I want the front of my card to say There's Snow One Like You. So that's going to be stamped in the top middle of that panel. Next, using the basic black Stampin' Write marker, fine tip point, I'm going to write 1 next to snow. I'm trying to imitate the font of that stamp set. So I'll go over it to kind of give it thicker lines. Next, we'll take a Real Red marker using the fine tip point as well and write in U next to like along with an exclamation point. Again, trying to imitate the font of that stamp set. Using the Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Write marker, let's add a little color to the snowman noses using the brush tip side, as well as to the penguin, his beak and feet on the 2 panels as well as on the envelope. I really enjoy using the Stampin' Write markers. They are a huge benefit to my crafting. Using Soft Sky ink and the Snowflake stamp from Snow Place stamp set, we're going to randomly stamp the very small snowflake. You can use all 3, but I just wanted the small snowflake. Now let's stamp that same small snowflake across the back flap of our envelope randomly. It will really tie the envelope in with the card and make the recipient. Using a sponge and the Soft Sky ink, we're going to sponge some color to the edge of all 4 sides of that front card panel. And then we're going to use our Snow Friends framelit dies to cut out our penguin and bows using the magnetic plate, then a cutting pad, then our Whisper White piece. I'm going to place my framelits where they need to be. Then I'll put another cutting plate on top and run that through the big shot. And then they will be ready to pop out. They pop out quite nicely. Aren't they adorable? I'm going to go ahead and put my framelits away. I store them in the envelope with some magnetic strips of paper, and I do store them with the blade up. Now, using basic black ink and a piece of sponge, we're going to add some color to our inside panel and the layering piece that we cut the penguin and bows out. I'm just going to swipe some ink along all four sides of those two pieces of paper. Now we're going to take a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 piece of basic black cardstock, put some adhesive onto that, and layer that onto the piece of Whisper White that we cut the penguin and bows out of. We're going to hide those holes, but I want to pop up color around the edge. Then we'll take the front panel with the snowman and There's No One Like You, add adhesive to the back of that. I'm using snail, and we'll layer that on to the basic black piece, nice and centered. So let's put all these pieces onto our card base. I'm putting snail onto the back of all of those panels and placing that on the right side of my card base. You'll notice it's open, makes it easier to center things and get them adhered correctly. Flip that card base over so you can put your inside panel centered on the right side as well with some adhesive. Close up your card, and then I'm going to go ahead and take one of those red bows, put some adhesive onto that red bow and stick it to the penguin on the inside of the card to make that penguin a young lady. The Snow Place stamp set has some other articles of clothing that you could use as well. Now I'm going to take another bow, put adhesive onto that, and put that onto my penguin on the envelope as well. Be careful, there's some adhesive on that work surface. And the last bow, we're going to put some adhesive onto that bow and place that onto the penguin that will be going onto the front of our card. Then we'll flip that penguin over and put some Stampin' Dimensionals. You could pop up that whole snowman panel if you want, but I figured since I'm popping up the penguin, that was enough dimension. I don't want to make it too thick. So I'm going to spread some Stampin' Dimensionals across on my penguin, making sure that she's got some support for her bow. So I'm cutting a small piece of dimensional for that, and I'm also putting another small piece for her tummy. Don't want any sagging there going on. So we'll peel off all the backing of the Stampin' Dimensionals and get her into place. And that is our card and coordinating envelope all complete. Thank you so much for joining me. Details and links to my blog are in the description below the video. Thank you.